Hi, my name is Thomas Foster and that's the first episode of a multi-part tutorial on Apple's Logic Pro 10.5. You don't need any previous knowledge for this tutorial, just give me 20 minutes of your time and I will show you how you can produce the track you can hear in the background. Have fun! After starting Logic Pro the first time, it should look like this. If you don't see this, maybe you see something like this. So in this case, you go to New Project and choose Empty Project. And here we say Choose. But now you should see something like this. Now we choose here a software instrument. This is an audio track you can record with your microphone or your guitar on an audio track. On a software instrument, you can record notes via a keyboard, a MIDI keyboard, or you can create notes with the mouse in this software and you can play it with any sound of this software. Let's create one software track. We say create and immediately we see here the library that we can close and open with this first button here. The first thing we do is we want to choose a sound. Let's start with an electronic drum kit. Click here on electronic drum kit and here you have all the drum kits and the first one is 808 Flex. Let's click on that one to load it. Now it's loaded and now we close the library again. And now I show you the most important button in the whole software. Are you ready? It's this one here. This is the play button. If you click on that, you see how the cursor is moving over the timeline. And you see also your bars counting, bar 5, bar 6. And because we are in a time square of 4/4, you also see 4 beats per bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and so on. We also can hear this by clicking here on the metronome. And we can stop that. And if we click on the stop button again, we go to the beginning. Let's play it again. All right. You can do this a little bit faster with the space key. You can start it with the space key. You can stop it with the space key. And with the 0, you can go to the beginning. That's a little bit faster. So try to remember these key commands, space key for start and stop and 0 to go to the beginning. All right. How fast the cursor is moving, we can say here in beats per minute. So 120 until 130 beats per minute is more for a dance track. We want to do something more like a pop, hip hop stylish track. So I click on the tempo 120 and keep holding down the mouse while you move down with your mouse to 100 BPM. Alternative, you can double click it and type in your tempo. So this is how 100 BPM sounds, but we don't want to hear the metronome anymore, so we click on it. What you see here is the timeline with the cursor that is moving from left to right. And what is new with Logic 10.5 is the live loops grid. Let's open it by clicking on this. And here you have these spaces here, these frames. I hold down the control key when I'm clicking on the first cell. And now we say create pattern cell. If you double click now your first cell, you see the new step sequencer of Logic Pro 10.5. We have here some sounds, the kick 1, the sub kick, the snare and so on. And I click now on the first cell of my first sound, the kick 1. So you hear it also. And now we want to hear this kick playing in this bar. So let's start this cell here with this arrow. And now you see how this cursor here is moving. And always when it's touching the first kick, we hear the kick. What we see here is 1 bar. 1 bar, because we are in a 4/4 bar, has 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And every beat has 4/16. 1, 2, 3, 4. And here's the next beat with 4/16. So our whole bar has 16/16. We want to hear the snare drum on the second beat and the fourth beat. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and 4. In addition, we want to hear the clap. So maybe you have to scroll down, or you have to make your window a little bigger to see the clap. 1. Let's place it here also with the snare on the second beat. That's the 5th button. And here on the 4th beat. Let's listen to this. Let's add another kick here. 2/16 before the 4th beat and 1/16 after it. That sounds nice. Let's add a hi-hat. I want to hear every 16. Besides clicking every 16th, I could just click the first, hold down the mouse and move to the right. That's cool. So to make it more interesting, let's erase the second and also here the number 8, 1 before the 3rd beat. But we want to make it even more special. So let's open this arrow here. Now we have 2 more new lines, the velocity and the note repeat. Let's start with a note repeat. We go to the last one, click on it, and now we can move the mouse up and down to say how many repeatings we want to have. Let's start to listen with 2. So instead of 1, we hear now 2. Let's listen to 7. How cool. I think 4 is good. Very good. And now we take a look to the velocity. Normally the velocity is the level of this beat. So we go to the number 4 and go from 100 to 60. So this should have now less level. It's not so easy to hear, but let's do this here again and maybe here again. Now the hi-hat has a little bit more dynamic, sounds more interesting. So now let's add the super cool sound, the sub kick 1 that came up many years ago with hip hop. So we click here on the first beat and also here on this one here. Let's listen. Let's also click here. Now we always listen to 1 bar. And especially this repeating effect here for me is too often every bar. So I want to make a loop that is not 1 bar, that is 2 bars. Here it says 16 steps because 1 bar has 16 steps. But we want to hear 2 bars, so we have to go to 32 steps. Now we see the beat we created on 2 bars. And now we can change something here in the second half. Let's delete the note repeat on the last hi-hat here. So we just have it in the first bar. And another change we want to do is let's erase these 2 here. Maybe we don't need this one. This one, sorry. Let's listen to this. Yeah, that's cool. I like it. Wonderful. Let's add a new instrument. So we click here the plus button and say new software instrument. So create. Let's load another sound. Maybe this time a synthesizer. And let's choose the category rhythmic and find the house chords. Here we also create a first cell by holding down the control key, but this time we don't say create pattern cell, because we don't want to work with the step sequencer. We say create MIDI cell because we want to see the piano roll. And the piano roll, the time is also from left to right, but you see the notes like on the piano, low keys are on the bottom and on the top you see the high keys. I think we want to create a note on the A2. So take care that you see the range from C2 to C3. You just can scroll here or here on the right with this one here. All right. And now let's take here another mouse. Let's go to the pencil tool and click on A2. Okay. Let's go back to the normal mouse, the pointer tool, and take care that it's really in the beginning on the position 1, 1, 1. And now we want to make it longer. We want to make it 4 bars long. So we have to take care that we get this special mouse icon. To click down, hold down the mouse, move to the right to make it longer. If you click on the mouse, you get the normal mouse icon, so you can move it. If you click on the right corner of this note, you get this special icon to make the note longer. All right. Now we want to listen to it, so let's click on this arrow here. Pretty cool sound, huh? So, but it's too loud. To find the perfect volume, here's the trick. Go down with your volume to 0 and play the music and bring in slowly this sound. Yeah, somewhere -10, -12 is good for me. Let's create a new instrument, the software instrument create. Again, we go to synthesizer. Maybe you have to scroll a little bit to the left. Synthesizer. Then we go to lead and we find the sound percussive square lead. Let's close the library so we see a little bit more. Again, Control click the first cell on your new track to create a MIDI cell. Okay, we take the pencil and create a note on the 3rd 16th on the A3. Sometimes the note is extremely long in Logic, then you have to zoom out to find the end of this note and make it shorter. Let's zoom in again. We want to see something like 2 bars, 1, 2, 3. That's fine. And we zoom in a little bit more. All right. Let's stop the note here and take again the pencil to create here between beat 3 and 4 another note. Sorry, on the E. We end the note exactly on the 2. We create another note on bar 2. On the G3, we make a note here on the D3, and here on the 2-4 another note, and the last note here on the A. We make this 1 bar long. All right. If you're done, it should look like this. Let's listen to this. Maybe this one is too early. It's a question of taste. I started a little later. Something like this. Let's listen again. That's nice. Let's again bring down the volume to find the perfect volume for the sound. All right. I want to shape a little bit the sound. So let's take a look what we have here on this track. There's this M. With the M, you can mute a track. So let's mute the drums. And you click again on it to hear it again. You can solo a track. Click again to hear again everything. And then you can change the volume here. You can change the panning left or right. With a double click, you can bring it to 0 again. And here you have the effects on this track. If you don't see this, you just have to click here on the eye to open it. Sometimes if these arrows here are open, you can close this to see your channel. And here we have the effects on this track and we can bypass them. So if we want to hear, for example, this square sound, without the effects, we just click here on the left button on every track. We hear it now without the effects, again with the effects. Yeah, sounds a little bit nicer with the effects, but now we want to add a reverb, another effect. So let's bring the mouse exactly here where it's getting dark gray. And now we add the chroma verb. If you don't find it here, you have to go down to reverb and bring it in there. We go to stereo and that's our reverb effect. Let's bring up the decay time, that's the length of the reverb, to something like 5 seconds. So it's really a huge reverb. And here, this is how much reverb do we have on this track. Let's go to 30%. And now we listen again. Ah, yeah, that sounds more interesting. Let's listen to everything together. If it sounds like this on your computer, I say congratulations. You already made your first track in Logic Pro 10.5. Wow. So, but now we want to have fun, right? We want to add another effect, and we want to add this effect not on one of the instruments. We want to add this effect on every instrument. Take care that you see the information window. Maybe you have to make it a little bit bigger because we have to see the stereo out. Here you find all the instruments. So for example, if you want to make a fade out on the track, you just have to move the volume of all the tracks down. So let's bring it up again to 0. And now we add an effect on the master track, means to all instruments. We click here on the first slot and here we find the Remix FX in stereo. If you don't see it here, you find it here in the multi effects. Let's add them. This is a lot of fun, right? We have here a filter, we have here a repeater, and here's some other effects like bit crusher and scratching. And you just click on it and move it while the music is playing and you see what is happening. You also can do this on your iPad with your fingers with an app called Logic Remote that you can download for free on the App Store. So, but we do it now here with the mouse. Let the music play. Here the filter. The beat repeats. If you bring down the mouse, you mix it. If the mouse is up, you hear just the effect. The bit crusher. So, there's a lot of fun that you can have with these effects, and you also can change the effects to have other effects. But now we want to make this more like a song, because at the moment it's a loop. So let's activate the first clip, the second with the shift key, hold down the shift key to activate every clip, and we move it to the third slot. Let's move this clip here. We copy it now to this slot. So hold down the Option or the Alt key on your computer. We double click it to open, and we want to change something in this copy. We want to mute the hi-hat. So we scroll down a little bit, click the M of the hi-hat. Let's listen to this. Oh, sounds a little bit cooler for the beginning. We copy it to the second slot and add here the chords. And now you can play a DJ. You can start here with 1, then go to 2, to 3, back to 2, and it's always changing in time. And we can add some effects. So let's do this, let's have fun. Let's go to the beginning of everything. And here you can stop everything. And now let's start our performance. Now we click here after 4 bars to bring in the next sound. And after 8 bars, we bring in the next sound and the hi-hat. A little effect. Let's stop the lead sound and go to this drums without the hi-hat. Let's stop the drums. And let's stop the whole track. My name is Thomas Foster. If you want to see more tutorials on Logic Pro 10.5, then come to my YouTube channel, Thomas Foster Music Production. Here you'll find tutorials for every DAW and every important plugin, and you find everything that you need to know to produce music. Thank you for watching. Always stay creative. Cheers. My name is Thomas Foster, and this is my YouTube or Facebook channel, Thomas Foster Music Production, which is all about music production. Here you will find tutorials on the most important DAWs or music programs, the most important plugins, and I'll show you how to produce the current sound of the charts and the clubs. If you have any questions about this video or more generally about music production, just write me in the comments. I'll answer all your questions. Of course, I'm also happy about a simple feedback or suggestion for another video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel to not miss any of my videos. At this point, I say thank you for being there. Always stay creative. Cheers!